Welcome, everyone, to the second episode of Dandelion, The Witcher, and the Wardrobe.
Welcome back.
Welcome back. Should I do that again?
No. I think that was perfect.
Okay.
So, what do you think?
Well, so we have watched...
You're very happy, I know.
I'm very happy.
Yeah.
We've watched the first episode of the Witcher series that was released on Netflix on the 19th of December. And
8 a.m. our
8
time.
a.m. it was released.
UK time.
I have watched slightly more than one episode, but we're here to discuss this one. So if you haven't watched it, there's spoilers through this, so do beware. But if you have watched it and you just want to glean some more...
There are people who have already watched the whole thing. I tweeted that I love that there's people that would have already watched the entire thing in one sitting in 8 hours. And I got a bunch of replies saying, yep, I've done it.
Really?
Yeah.
I would have done it if I'd had the time on the day.
I can't sit for 8 hours and watch something.
I think I could probably do it in stages. It's 4 movies in a day, isn't it? So 8 episodes, an hour each. And after the first one as well, it was just...
Yeah, it was hard for me to stop watching, to be honest. What did you think of Geralt's voice?
Geralt's voice. So Henry Cavill's take on Geralt, I thought that it was pretty good. I think he really went for that sort of grisly, sort of...
I thought you nailed
grindy.
it pretty much.
Absolutely.
I've got a comparison. Geralt's voice in The Witcher 3 sounds like this.
Relax, I'll help you. Small businesses are the foundation of a healthy economy, and so on and so on.
And Henry Cavill, Geralt, sounds like this.
A reclusive sorcerer who uses an alias and hires a young girl to procure him a witcher. You don't want my monster. You want me to kill yours.
Same, pretty much. Obviously, different accent. Everyone is English or Irish in the show.
Yeah, they've used a lot of the accents, the regional accents of the UK. They didn't. I know an interesting story from the actual game, The Witcher 3, as well. So do you know the story, The Bloody Baron?
Yes.
So that is the Baron who's sort of a bit of a drunkard, and he's lost his wife and his kid, and then the whole story. So that was written by one of the CD Projekt Red who wrote the game, and it was based on an area of Poland where they lived in, and they wrote it reflecting what was kind of going on in their area. So it's an interesting backstory, but also the actor they got to employ for that, they said to him that they'd used a lot of the regional accents, and his reply was, but let me guess, you've not used this one yet. And they said, yes, that's right, we want a Brummie accent for the Baron. So that's why the Baron sounds like he's Brummie, because that was the one they got to.
I love how, is it Skellige where everyone is Northern Irish?
Yes.
I love that.
It's amazing how also the weather there just reflects Northern Ireland as well.
It's great. One Northern Irish man I noticed in the first episode.
Ooh.
In the bar, in the pub bit at the start when they sort of want to fight him.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. And I thought, oh, is he in Skellige?
I thought so. My thoughts on the first episode, I was absolutely sort of so excited to see it, and I think there was so much going on, and I thought to have all the sort of storylines. There was a lot of quite sort of chilling stuff as well when we look at the sort of collapse of Sintra at the end there, and the suicide pact that was going on. I mean, that was for a first episode to be that invested in it.
Do you think every royal family has that? Do you think our royal family has some poison?
They've got some cyanide tucked away just in case.
Yeah, come on, you never know what's going to happen.
What in case?
I'm just saying, it's just an opinion. I'm not saying they definitely have poison. Ciri?
Yep, Ciri was, I thought, played really well in the start of the story.
She's much younger than she is in the game.
Yes.
She's quite young, isn't she? What would you say? She's like a teenager?
She is. I think she's about, in the books, at the stage I'm at, it's about 13, 14.
Oh, okay.
But if you remember at the start of the Witcher game, the Witcher 3 game, she's a girl, and she's going around Kaer Morhen, and that's so you're seeing her.
And they're like, Ciri, pay attention.
Absolutely,
to your training.
So you and me, obviously, and our listeners will know as well that Ciri is steeped deeply in the story and is a very important character. It'd be interesting to know whether people who aren't privy to the books or even the game have picked up that yet.
Yeah, I have a friend who doesn't know anything about The Witcher who heard our podcast, and now he's just started watching it. And I have no idea. I mean, he must just be in for so many surprises.
Absolutely, yeah. And also whether the strands link together as well.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of stories happening, not all at the same time as well, that will hopefully come together. Now, we're lucky because we know some of them, and I know some of them from the short stories. So the first few episodes I've seen, a lot of the short stories have come up, and I know like how they sort of link in, which is nice. But whether that's going to be easy for someone else.
How was that for you? So who was the woman that Geralt meets? Renfrey.
Yeah.
Now you told me that that's a short story.
That's one of the short stories. Yeah.
And so was it pretty much the same as the short story?
There was some differences. I think
Same ending.
A similar ending, yeah.
So you knew what was going to happen?
Yeah. Did you know why he woke up and said, "I've got to go to the market"?
She hypnotized him, didn't she?
I didn't think it was absolutely clear, but what in the books is made very clear, and I think that was intending to come across there as well, was that she was going to stop at nothing to get to Stregobor the wizard. So she was going to so she said, "I'm going to go and kill lots of people." So the idea was that they were going to be there on market day and then slaughter the town.
Yeah.
So he went to prevent that from happening to Geralt. And the irony is at the end of that episode and the end of that story is that the town thought he'd taken the law into his own hands. And then
chuck stones at him.
Absolutely.
And she said that had happened.
So, and of course, Geralt's nickname at the end is now the Butcher of Blaviken.
Oh, yes.
So that's how that name came about for Geralt himself.
I mean, the bit when, that first fight, the proper one with Geralt against those guys in Blaviken, that was just like the game, I thought. That's what, when you go and fight some, what do you call them? Bandits.
Bandits, yeah.
It was just like, it felt like just like when you fight them in the game. The way that he went around cutting them up.
Twisted around.
Yeah, it's great.
That was because that was the end of the first episode, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That fight, yeah.
I thought that was amazing.
Yeah. There was that story was fascinating as well, and also just seeing, Ciri's grandmother as well, and the way that Sintra, fell. What I found was amazing was that you, watching it, you were invested in the characters that over a very short space of time of knowing them suddenly died or disappeared, and tragedy sort of fell upon that area. So I thought that was quite a good powerful start to it. I was just excited to see Geralt and like I said, his voice and the way the action shots were as well. It was pretty much bang on for me, the first episode.
That was great, setting it all up. Some slower scenes, but that's okay.
The love-making scene.
That's exciting. You do that a lot in the game,
I was going to say, for episode 1, waste no time, Geralt, get in there.
Yeah, I know. I did think when they started kissing, I thought, God, they're both so dirty.
What?
They just looked, they were all muddy and, I thought...
Oh, you mean like literally dirty?
Oh, yeah, I don't mean, as people, they are disgusting.
Oh, right.
I mean, they're just filthy and they probably stink, but fair enough, Geralt. And the fight at the end with, what's her face again?
Renfrey. Yeah.
Renfrey, very good. Great fight.
It was a very well choreographed fight. That, and I said the Nilfgaardian.
It's the camera work and everything, isn't it? The way that she sort of charged towards him.
Yeah.
I thought, God, I really enjoyed it.
Also, the fights were great as well. The monsters started off great as well. We got off to a flying start.
What is that monster?
I think it's a Kikimor. Did they say it was a Kikimor?
Is that in the game?
I believe so. I have prepared a quiz for you.
Good. I'm quite thick, as listeners might have noticed. So obviously, play along at home.
Yeah, do play along at home.
Do play along at home.
So I've entitled this quiz "Spoiler Alert" because there's going to be spoilers in it for anyone that's obviously listening. But it shouldn't be a spoiler if you've actually watched it and paid attention to it. So, first of all, first question. What colour was Renfrey's hair?
Brown.
Brown, yeah, brunette, brown, we'll take that. Good,
brunette,
good.
Yeah.
How does the king die in the battlefield?
Arrow in the eye.
Good. Sub question to that.
Yes.
Which eye did the arrow go into?
His left eye?
He did it. Go into the left
Yes.
eye. Excellent. What does the alderman's daughter suggest that Geralt could buy with some money?
Clothes.
Yeah, new clothes. Everyone's saying he's
Everyone's like,
stinking.
you look ridiculous.
What is the first weapon to break through Mousak the magician's barrier at the castle? So remember, at the castle, he's protecting Calanth and Ciri,
Yes.
and he's got this invisible barrier.
And then he runs out of his power.
He runs out of
eventually.
power. What is the first?
I don't think it's something that obviously flew into it.
Can you picture it?
It's not an arrow, is it?
It is an arrow. Any
It
more
is.
specific?
On fire?
An arrow on fire. This is good. You really
Nice,
did
man.
pay attention. Okay, so in the early scenes,
Yeah.
Ciri was in the town square playing knucklebones with some of the other kids.
Yeah.
What were they playing for?
Is this... Oh. I don't know.
So the soldiers rocked up, and then one of the children said, "Oh, we didn't steal it." What could it have been?
Some sort of food.
Yeah. What food do you get in those kind of times?
I don't know. What do they have? Bread?
Yeah, bread. Good.
Oh, okay.
It's
That
just bread
was
and
a
cheese,
guess.
isn't it?
That was a guess.
It's always bread and
I
cheese.
didn't actually remember that bit.
And
We didn't steal the bread.
the final question is, in the fight scene for the end, which we talked about, which is a really amazing scene where
Yeah.
the battle of the Butcher of Blaviken, so he comes in now. Before he meets Renfrey, how many of Renfrey's men does Geralt kill in that fight?
Okay. I think it's between 5 and 7, I think. Could it be 8? I'm gonna say 8.
Gonna say 8.
Yeah.
It's 9.
Is it?
Yeah, you were really
That's
close.
close,
That was
though.
good. Yeah, it was 9. So
I didn't
that,
realise it was 9. Wow.
yeah, so it's a swirling fight
They're all
combat.
arseholes, though. I mean, you call him the butcher of wherever, but those guys...
No, absolutely.
You're better off without him, surely.
What really got me about the end of that as well, if you remember, the alderman's daughter was held at knife point by Renfrey.
Yeah.
She got set free, and you'd have thought, oh, well, Geralt saved my life, and he's killed the Kikimor or whatever. He's going to be,
Yeah.
we should look after him. And she says, you better leave Blaviken and never come back. Because
That's how I feel
Stregobor, if you remember,
Yeah.
makes him look like the baddie.
Yeah, cheeky wizard.
What do you think of the Stregobor's, crib?
Oh, it's good, but it's fake, right?
It was fake, yeah.
Yeah,
Aren't all our cribs fake? Aren't we all just shells with
No,
decorations?
not that fake. And it's a bit weird. He's got fake naked women picking fruit. I mean, I know I hope he gets killed in a very violent way. I'm gonna do the tweet. I'm just gonna mention it.
Leave it, Bilal.
I'm
It's not
gonna
worth
mention
it.
a thing.
It's not worth it.
It's fine. I don't want to fight the guy. I should say thank you very much for people that have listened. We've had more people than I thought. We've had, and the cool thing is, all over the world, through the Witcher Twitter account I made, a lot of Brazilian people into The Witcher.
Really?
Yeah, that's cool, isn't it? Let me just find this thing very quickly. So we got a tweet from someone that is called Witcher is based off books, not games. That's his name. He listened to our first episode. He, could be a she, I don't know. This person listened to the first episode. They said, Triss was in the teaser trailer. Okay, we missed that, fair enough. Also, a lot of things from the games are not in the books. They couldn't really include something like Gwent without getting the licensing from CG Projekt Red, which I do not believe they have done.
But they could just play cards.
They could play cards,
That's
mate.
all it would take. All it would take would be three people sitting down with some cards, just saying, do you want to play? And Geralt's like, I haven't got time for that. And
Yeah, exactly.
all of us that played the game would be like, oh, they're talking about Gwent. It would be.
Yeah, they have to do it at some point. I really hope it happens. Yeah, so this person's point is that it is based off the books, and it is. But it's a bit like the game, isn't it?
It's
Definitely is.
If we think about this honestly, I got into the books from the game. You got into the game, and we've both got into the series. And
Quite
I'm sure,
easily.
let's be honest, like Netflix may not have picked it up had the game not been as successful.
I mean, that's what it is, isn't it?
So the story with Sapkowski, the author, was that he sold the game sold the rights to the game as a lump sum to CG Projekt Red. There was then some mini fallout because when it became so successful, he really wanted obviously wanted more money from it, and they were like, well, no, we agreed a lump deal, some sort of thing. However, recently, and we're talking the last month, the good news is that he has signed a new deal with CG Projekt Red for further rights going forward, which has stimulated the idea that there may also be another game along the way. It might not be called The Witcher. It might be something completely different. There's been a lot of talk that Geralt's story is finished and he may pop up as cameo. But it's interesting that they've now signed a new deal because that suggests something else is going to happen.
Come on, mate. You have to. When it's this successful and this many people love it, there's always a way, innit?
So thank you for listening. I hope you're enjoying our sort of enthusiastic and my over giddy feelings towards The Witcher. Do subscribe if you're listening to podcasts. We're going to go through the whole series. And if you really enjoy it, do give us a 5-star review on iTunes or on whatever app you're listening it to.
It will do.
Yeah, exactly.
They know what you mean.
In fact, if you write a comment along with a 5-star review, we will read that out and we'll talk about any questions you've got for that as well. And do tweet us on our Twitter account.
Tweet us. Yeah, we're called Witcher_podcast. How cool is that we got that?
That is
we
very good.
got it. Yeah. Thank you. We'll speak to you soon. Bye.
This has been Dandelion, The Witcher, and The Wardrobe.
Yes.